it right now. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone here on Clubhouse. If you are watching us online, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn simultaneously. And we're going to be giving good information to you. We're here in the Mortgage Syndicate House this morning. And if you're here with a red ticket, guess what? You need to cash that ticket in. Become a member of this house. So you go up to the top, click on Mortgage Syndicate, and become a member of the house. Oh, but listen, you might as well get a 2-for-1. Then click on my avatar, click on the ICE avatar, then scroll all the way down, and then you'll see the P.I.L.L Method house. Join that house as well, because that's where all of this information is coming from. It's coming from the P.I.L.L Method. We've been doing this for 17 years, giving out the truth about how loans and lending actually works. And we already have somebody on the stage this morning, Miss Kelsey. Kelsey, how are you doing this morning? Can you talk this morning? Just click that microphone on the right-hand side and see. Kelsey, are you there? Kelsey going once?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was talking to my kids this morning as well. Yes, sir. I came here to learn about debt freedom because there's a lot of things that I want to work on, like my credit and things. So I'm here to get the information, and I appreciate you for inviting me up. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Same to you. And listen, I heard you said you're talking to your kids. So happy Mother's Day to you and everybody else who's a mother on the stage today. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And thank you for being here. And anytime you want to chime in with a question, Kelsey, please do so. I'm glad that you're here on the stage. Anybody else who wants to come up to the stage, raise your hand. We will bring you up. You do not have to say a word if you don't want to. But if you do have a question, if something we say prompts you for a question, just open up. You'll already be here. So here's what we want to talk about today, okay? That debt freedom. You know, there's a guy in Nashville, Tennessee, and they talk about the debt-free scream on his show, debt-free scream, and how people become debt-free, and that to be debt-free is the best thing ever, and cash is king. I'm trying to tell you right now, I'm going to go on record. Cash is not king. Cash flow may be king, but cash is not king. You know, the people say things that sound good, but are they really good? I think we went over this the other day. If doing things in cash were the best way available, all right, best way available is to do things in cash, then tell me, what are the largest buildings downtown? Who owns the largest buildings downtown where you live? Let me know where you're from. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Tell us where you're from this morning. Put it in the chat this morning. Where you're from. Say good morning, where you're from. I'm right here in Huntsville, Alabama. So I'm going to be the first one to put something. I want to be one of the first ones to put something in the chat. Good morning from Huntsville. All right. Huntsville, Alabama, not Huntsville, Texas. Okay. All right. Huntsville, Alabama. There we go. All right. And Kelsey is good morning from Caroline County. Oh, listen, I got to know where Caroline County is. What state is that in? Please tell me. All right, Horace Jennings is watching us online from Virginia, and let's see, Laquita Jordan. Good morning from Memphis, Tennessee. All right, she's and Kelsey is in Virginia. All right, where's everybody else from this morning? Good morning to you. All right, let's see where everybody else is from. All right, just go ahead and put it in the chat and start inviting people into this. Oh, I say, Tiana, She put her Mother's Day flowers up as her avatar, as her PTR. Good morning. I see those Mother's Day flowers. They're absolutely gorgeous. Okay. So congratulations to you. All right. Somebody thought about you. We have 7 people online. We're growing already. All right. So I need you to think about this. The largest buildings you have downtown are your banks. Okay. If cash were king and not doing things on managing your credit properly, did you realize that your banks downtown are the biggest borrowers in your town? Nobody borrows more money than your banks. Nobody. Not even the biggest construction companies. No one borrows more money than your banks. And I need you to think about this and tell me, whose money are they borrowing? Your banks. Whose money are they borrowing? Go ahead, put it in the chat if you know. All right. Come online. Come up to the stage. Let's talk about it. All right. Who's borrowing all the money in your town? Who borrows more? Whose money are they borrowing? Do you know? Do you know whose money they're borrowing? Go ahead and put it in the chat if you know whose money the banks are borrowing. All right. Let's see. Good. Okay. I agree with you, Don. Cash flow is king. Thank you very much, Horace. I appreciate that. All right, folks. Let me tell you whose money they're borrowing. Our money. And St. Felix said, my money. You got that right, St. Felix. They're borrowing your money. They're borrowing my money. Everybody who has money in the bank is actually borrowing that money. Ian Pedley is all the way here from Australia. He traveled all the way from Australia. Good morning, Ian. Good to see you again. He's watching us on Facebook. All right. Horace Jennings says they're borrowing your money and my money and our money. All right. So what they're doing with that money now, when they borrow that money, ladies and gentlemen, what are they doing with that money? These are the most successful businesses anywhere. And their main business is they borrow money and then they do what with it? What do they do with that money? I wish I had somebody to talk to me on my stage this morning. I know Kelsey is probably doing something, getting her kids ready for something or other, but she's talking to them. Okay. And I just appreciate the fact that she's on the stage. Somebody else come up to the stage and talk to me this morning. I would appreciate it very, very much. If you are online watching us, but you haven't downloaded, Clubhouse, go ahead and download Clubhouse, because that's how you can talk to us on Clubhouse this morning. It's an audio app. Go ahead and download it. And Ian Pedley says they invest the money. Horace Jennings says they invest the money. All right. And let's see, Tawan McGraw, they lend it back out. All right. James McNeil says they loan it out. They lend that money out. Okay. So they're lending it out. They're making huge profits with the money that they borrow from us. And then they turn around and pay us pennies on the dollar for the use of that money. All right. Kelsey Garnett says, I shared it for others to join. So thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you, folks. We need to bring some other people in here, because this whole idea of debt freedom is the worst kind of deception. And what I mean is, we need to know how money actually works. Okay. You should have your money making money. Your money needs to make money. Your money needs to be creating money babies. Okay. So the money that you make, if I'm saving that money up in an account that's paying me little or nothing so that I can buy a car, do you realize that I'm walking while I'm trying to save up money? Come on, folks. I'm trying to save up money to buy the car, but I'm walking back and forth to work. That makes no sense to me. Okay. See, here's the thing. If you're spending your money, I need you all to look up where you can, and I might even put it on the stage on my screen, so that if you're watching us, if you are listening to us on Clubhouse, you can also watch us on YouTube. You can also watch my screen on YouTube. All right. So I'm going to add my other camera here so that we can have a 2-camera view. All right. We're going to put that on. We're also going to share this screen. All right. We're going to share a screen. And then I'm going to put some things on the screen. You need to understand we have a huge problem if we don't understand our money. All right. So first of all, I'm going to be putting on our screen here. Boom. There it is. And we're going to look at opportunity cost. Okay. Opportunity cost. There we go. Opportunity cost. All right. So now we're going to put that. We're putting that on the screen. Did I put the wrong screen up? There we go. There it is. All right. Instead of changing over, we'll just slide it over. Okay. I need you to understand what opportunity cost is. All right. Here it is. The loss of potential gain from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. See, if you spend your money, you can also invest that money. All right. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's something that's going to go against everything you've probably ever been taught about your money. I don't use debit cards. I use exclusively credit cards. Exclusively. I don't use debit cards. Debit cards are for emergencies. Credit cards are for everyday use once you know how to use them. Here's the thing. You don't use credit cards if you don't have resources. If you have resources, then you can use your credit cards. But if you don't have resources, you can't use credit cards. Okay. My wife and I, can I tell you a little story? I'm going to tell you a little story here. We have some friends that are celebrating their 50-year anniversary, and they wanted to do a destination celebration. It's coming up in July, and they're going to Jamaica. All right. So we're flying into Jamaica to do this, and we're going to be there a week. So I had over 1 million points. I had over 1 million points. Okay. But to use. So we booked our flight on Delta with points. First class going to Jamaica with points. Not a dime out of my pocket. All right. So now how did I get all those points, folks? I got those points because I run my whole business on credit cards. I'm paying the bills anyway. Now, there are some people that say you can take that money that you're bringing in, sit it in your bank account, and then pay cash for everything in your business. Or I can use somebody else's money to pay my bills, and then take the money that I have to pay back the credit cards, and then get the points. You see, I want people to pay me for paying my bills. What's wrong with that? If you know how to leverage the money correctly, you can build up all kinds of points and fly for free, vacation for free, do other things for free, because you now know how. This is just one thing you can do with leveraging your money. All right. That's just one thing you can do. Stevie just showed up. He's got a party hat on. That means, Stevie, thank you for showing up this morning, because when Stevie showed up, guess what? That means he has been on the app for less than a week, and he decided to come into the mortgage syndicate to learn about debt freedom. It's the worst kind of deception. Okay, because if you are using your cash to spend, here's what opportunity cost means: the loss of potential gain from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. So if you use your cash to buy stuff, you can also invest it and turn it into something else. So I use the money from my credit cards to invest in my business to grow the P.I.L.L method so that we can be here 3 times a week. We give away at least 6 hours a week to individuals so that they can learn the truth about lending, about what's really going on in the marketplace, so that you can use your money more efficiently, so that you can have more money to invest, more money to buy, more money to live the lifestyle in which you need to be accustomed, okay? And you don't have to wait till your kids are grown before you start enjoying that money. You see, there are people out there right now. Good morning, Roger Farmer. I see you there. He's watching us on YouTube this morning. All right. And and Felix, thank you so much, Felix. He put these letters in OPM. Does anybody know what that means, Felix? Let me ask. What does OPM stand for? He put these letters in here. OPM. What do they stand for? Does anybody know? All right. I'm going to see. Let's see if other people know what OPM stands for, because I am a definite proponent. Oh, yeah, here it comes. Other people's money. Other people's money. Because listen, Latasha Hammonds, who's watching us also on YouTube, and Horace Jennings, who's watching us on YouTube, they both say other people's money. And Latasha, good morning to you. And every other mother who has joined us late, I want you to know that we're saying Happy Mother's Day to you right now. Okay. So Horace Jennings, happy mother. Okay. David Rose, watching us on YouTube, says other people's money. Strategic Secrets on YouTube says other people's money. Do you realize you have some unique opportunities? People who use other people's money are employers. But they've got people out there who are teaching the employees that leveraging other people's money, there's something wrong with that. Dave Ramsey in Tennessee says you should not have a credit score. He wants you to have a 0 credit score. Do you know I have a friend in town right here. His name is Michael Rosenblum. He is a realtor, and he was one of the he was our very first viral video, he and his wife. Okay. He's a realtor. His wife is a teacher. They paid off their mortgage in 6.5 years on our program, right out of college. Okay. Out of college, I met his dad. All right. His dad introduced me to him. And then he got excited about the idea of interest cancellation. How can he use his money to cancel interest so he could pay off a 30-year loan now in 6.5 years? So he paid that house off, then bought another house and put renters in his current home. You see, he learned how to leverage his money. And now he's got income coming in from that home, helping him to pay off his second home. But that was some years ago. He's now have several rental properties, paying them all off. I think he's on his 4th or 5th house now, paying those things off so that they become cash flowing in a relatively short time. Okay, listen, his kids aren't even in junior high. His kids aren't even in middle school yet. Still in, he's got one is not even in preschool. He's got another one that's in grade school. Three or four houses paid off already. What? Yeah, leveraging someone else's money. Listen, if you follow Dave Ramsey, and here's what he's running into as a realtor. He's following, because we're right here in Huntsville, Alabama, where we are an hour and a half away from Nashville, Tennessee. And you can see Dave Ramsey's building now, his brand new building from, and if I did the research on it, I'm wondering if I did the research on it, did he pay for that building cash? I'm just wondering. I don't know whether he did or not, but I'd like to look into it to see if he actually paid for that building cash. I'm wondering. Okay, I'm just wondering. So you can see it from the highway now, from I-65. But he has people right here in Huntsville that when it comes time for them to get a house, and the median home price in the U.S. right now is $400,000. Do you have $400,000 saved up to buy a house? So when these people go to get a house, they can't get a realtor to help them unless they are pre-approved for a loan. Okay? They can't get a realtor to help them unless they get pre-approved. So when they go to get pre-approved, they say, listen, folks, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Okay? They say, well, what's the good news? The good news is you don't have any negative, any negative marks on your credit profile. That's the good news. So what's the bad news? The bad news is you don't have a credit score. I can't do anything for you. You paid for everything cash. And they said, why can't we leverage that? Why can't we leverage that? We pay for everything cash, which means we pay for stuff that everything we have is paid for. Okay, our cars are paid for. This is paid for. That's paid for. The problem is, sir, madam, we have no record that you can pay back debt on time. We have no record of it. And because we have no record of it, we can't lend you the $400,000, the $300,000, the $200,000 you need to purchase the house you're looking for. And now we've got to do something else to help you to get ready to purchase the house that you're looking for. That's what we're talking about. If we look at debt freedom is the worst kind of deception, these people feel that they've been bamboozled. Okay. All right. Strategic Secret says, good morning. And it says, happy and blessed Mother's Day. Now, I happen to know that Strategic Secret is also a pastor. So thank you very much for that. And he says, happy and blessed Mother's Day. And I appreciate that. So go ahead and send up a prayer for all the mothers. Ian Pedley, all right, from Australia. This is what he's telling us this morning. Okay. I had a client just like that, and the banks didn't lend them anything either. You go through your whole life thinking you're doing the best thing you possibly can. The best thing you possibly can for yourself and your family, eliminating all risk of being in debt because somebody told you that debt is a bad word. Folks, if you do this thing right, the way that you need to look at it is you're managing your credit. And that's what banks do. Banks manage their credit. They promise that if you lend them your money, they will pay you back when you ask for it. Now, I know that there's some bank failures, but they're few and far between. I'm talking about those who have been doing this for a very long time. That our whole society, everything that you're doing, all right, everything that you're doing is based on managing credit. If you have a job, wherever you're working, they've learned how to manage credit. Because if they didn't learn how to manage credit, you would not have a job. Did you know that most jobs, when you get paid, you're not paid with the cash directly that's made from that business? Did you realize that? Did you realize that most of these businesses have a line of credit so that they can make sure, because see, cash flow sometimes can become a problem for a business. Cash flow can sometimes become a problem for a business, and that's why they have lines of credit so that they can make sure they can make payroll and you don't miss a beat, because they have the line of credit not only to make payroll, but to buy whatever materials that they're selling, or the service that they're selling. They need to have the cash on hand to be able to purchase whatever they need to perform the service or sell the products that you are involved in. All right. Even if you are a teacher, did you realize that your school system needs to be able to borrow money so that they can build new buildings? That tax money that's paying your salary doesn't directly pay your salary. That tax money for a school system are paying back loans to so that they can build the buildings that you're working in, and then not only build the buildings but put the desks in the buildings, to put the smart boards in. All right, because they don't have blackboards in these schools anymore. They have smart boards. All right, so all of that technology somebody paid for, and it wasn't with cash. They borrowed that money so that you can do your jobs. So we need to learn how all of that works so that we can leverage our money. How can I use the money that I make and leverage somebody else's big pile of money, turn that big pile of money into profits for me and my family, and then I can take some of those profits and then pay back the loans to manage the loan payments. So Don, aren't you paying interest on those? You doggone straight I'm paying interest on it. But do you realize I can lower the amount of interest that I pay? All right. Ian Pedley says in New South Wales, their median house is over 1 million. No one can pay cash. Do you know how I know he knows this? Because Ian Pedley, who is watching us on Facebook in Australia right now, okay, in New South Wales, somebody look that up. What time is it in New South Wales right now? Okay. Go ahead. And so he says that he is a loan officer. That's what he does. He lends. He's a mortgage professional. This is what he does for a living, helping people get into houses and then sharing with them the P.I.L.L method on how they can pay off that house. Ian says it's midnight. It's midnight where he is, ladies and gentlemen, and he's here watching us live. He could have watched the replay, but he's here live. Ian, we appreciate you chiming in from Australia today. All right, so Sarah, I see that you're in here. Anybody else wants to come to the stage? Raise your hand. Come to the stage. Start inviting some other people in here right now. I'm going to pause for just a second and to do a reset. While I'm doing the reset, I need you all to start inviting some other people in. Okay. So you're in the mortgage syndicate this morning. The mortgage syndicate has their main rooms Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. Eastern time to 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's 6 hours a day. And all the information they have is everything real estate and lending. And we give you the truth on Sundays about not how to get the loans, but we're the only show that talks about how to pay the loans back efficiently. So debt freedom, I don't believe in debt freedom. What I believe in is managing your credit correctly. Don't get overextended. Don't use too little. Don't use too much credit. Put yourself in a position where you can use somebody else's money. And where you can use somebody else's money, then you can invest your money to make money. All right. I'm going to put an example on the screen of what I'm talking about here. All right. So let's pull this up. I need to get to, I need to get to some PDFs, and I want to show you something on how powerful leveraging somebody else's money can be. All right. So we've got, let me pull this one up. All right. Let me pull that one up. I'm going to pull this one up just to give you a couple of examples here. I got 3 examples I'm putting on the screen right now. All right, got 3 examples I'm putting on the screen. Only 2 came up. I wanted 3. So let me see if I can find the 3rd one. Okay. Let's see here. I wanted 3 examples. Commercial example, savings report. All right. Savings report, commercial example. Oh, they're the same ones. Okay, there we go. I got 2 examples to show you. Here we go. Here's what I'm talking about. Let me pull this one over. And I need you, if you want to see the example I have on the screen, all right? You want to see the examples I have on the screen, go to YouTube right quick. Get a secondary device. If you have a second phone, your computer, your laptop, your iPad, or whatever you have, go to YouTube, search for P.I.L.L method, and you'll be able to see this. Here is an example of a client that has $123,000 in debt, a mortgage for $89,000, 2 loans coming to $27,000, and some credit cards, $6,000. Okay. So what we found out is that the bank wants $45,000 in interest on those loans. Okay, $45,000 in interest on those loans. Using our program and using the current budget, they're only going to pay $12,000 in interest. $12,000 in interest. You see, the key to managing your debt, okay, it's not how fast you can get out of debt or staying out of debt. The key to managing your debt is controlling the interest cost. You can be in control of how much interest you pay. Stop focusing on interest rate and control interest cost, because debt freedom is the worst kind of deception. Because if you are spending your money, you can't also invest your money. That's the worst kind of deception. Okay? So here's what you need to do. How can I borrow money, but I can lower the cost of borrowing that money from $45,000 to $12,826? Do you see here? I need you to, I'm going to focus. I'm going to zoom in on this. So you need to see this. You need to see this. This is called your effective interest rate, meaning what would the interest rate have to be on your loans if you only paid $12,826 when the bank was looking for $45,000 in interest? you would have to have an interest rate of 0.67%. So if you take the amount of interest that they're paying on this and then do the math, it says, oh, to be able to do this, you'd have to have an interest rate of less than 1%. If you can borrow money at less than 1%, what are you doing paying cash? What are you doing paying cash for anything if you could borrow money at less than 1%, when then you can take your cash and invest it in something and make more money? You know, like the Rosenblums. Take their money and invest it in other houses. And listen, I am so proud of these young folks. They started their journey in 2008. Okay, it is now 2023. So listen, in 14 years, listen, they're not even halfway through their work life yet, and they've got, I think they got like 4 houses paid off. Dude, come on, anybody could do it. Start now. I don't care how old you are. Start now learning how to leverage somebody else's money. Borrow it at 0.67%. Invest your money other ways so that you can make 6, 7, 10, 15, and if you're in real estate, sometimes even 20% year after year on your money, while you're paying somebody else pennies on the dollar for using their money, just like they're doing to us. Just like they're doing to us. Is that what you want? Listen, are you struggling right now with your finances? Do you understand what's really going on with your finances? Are you where you want to be? Listen, I was talking to a client of mine who came on a few years ago. You know, the Barker family. Let me put their video. Let me put their video up on the screen, because I was just talking to them this morning, and they're telling me how well their children are doing in school, because they homeschooled, because they have a great story as well. When I met them a few years ago, okay, and they don't mind telling you because it's part of their video. Let me put it on here so you don't think I'm telling their story out of school. All right, I'm not telling their story out of school. I'm going to put their information on here. All right, we're going to go to our YouTube channel. Okay, go to the YouTube channel, and there it is. So we're going to go find the video. All right, and we're going to find the Barker video. There it is. They're the Barkers. All right, so pulling that up. All right, I didn't want you to hear it, but here's the title of their video: going from $13.06 in the bank to eliminating $24,000 in debt in 11 months. Okay, so when we put that up, when we were putting that up, they tell the story in this video. All right, and you can watch the entire video. When I met them, they had $13.06 in the bank, and they have master's degrees. Okay. They make good money. They just did not know how to manage their money. They thought their money was to buy stuff with and to pay cash with as much as they could, but they still had some debt to handle. So they were trying to do their best, paying cash and using credit, but they didn't have the formula just right. So they had $13.06 in the bank, and their goal was that one of them stopped working. So Mrs. Barker can use her talents and her skills as an educator, because they're both teachers with master's degrees. They're both teachers. And so she wanted to stay home to teach their children. But between the two jobs, they had $13.06 in their savings account. How were they able to do that? They heard about the P.I.L.L method, and because we were coming to their church, somebody had invited us to the church in their area in Alabama, and they came and listened and finally trusted the information, became clients, and paid off $24,000 worth of debt in 11 months, just in time for Mrs. Barker to put in her resignation and start teaching her children at home, because that was their goal. By understanding what they were doing, they were now having in just 6 months, they had more money in the bank with the one job from Mr. Barker, from the one job, and they're paying off their debt like crazy. And now they have a business. They were telling me how well their business is doing. Okay. They now have a business, and everybody in the family has a business. Okay. Mr. Barker has a business. He's still working, but he has a business on the side. Mrs. Barker has her business. Did you know their daughter had a business making soap? I bought some of the soap. And even the youngest member of the Barker family has a business with bees. Okay? They're renting out the bees. Come on. Don't you just love that story? Where they've taken their money and invested their money and teaching the children what just the basics of leveraging their money, and get out of this idea of debt freedom. And that should be your goal, to pay cash for everything instead of learning how to leverage somebody else's money. Man, oh man, the Barker family. All right. And then let me turn down the volume on the video. I want to show you a little bit. We're going to get into this. I'll show you the Barker family here. All right. There they go. There's their video. All right. Barker family right there, folks. I just talked to them this morning on the way into the studio. And this was way back when. And listen, look at the little boy. He's taller than me now. That little boy right there. He's taller than me now. It's just amazing what can be done in just a few short years once you know how. Here's what Horace Jennings is saying online right now. Horace Jennings is saying the very principle that must be understood is that you finance everything that you buy. You either pay interest to someone else, or you give up interest you could have earned otherwise. Are you listening to that, folks? You're either paying interest. Now look at that truck he's driving. Okay. And they were so proud to get that truck. Do you know who drives that truck now? Their daughter, who started college at age, 16 or 17? The daughter started college at age 16 or 17. Yeah. Okay. And she's driving that truck now. All right. And it is amazing what can be done. All right. So what he's saying here, Horace Jennings is saying, if you can leverage so you pay somebody else a little bit of interest, then take your cash and invest it and make a whole lot of interest with it. So here's what the Barkers did. They invested in their business and turned that business around to make all kinds of cash each month, and I don't think he was satisfied. I don't think he was satisfied until he completely replaced his income through their business, but he's still making that income. He's still making the same income, but he's making more than his W-2 income from their business. I absolutely love it. Let me show you. Oh, listen. Here's a little girl now. That's their little girl right there. Okay. And she's a grown woman now, going to college because they were able to homeschool, and she got in early and doing extremely well. I just asked this morning how she's doing. Okay. And see that little boy there? He's taller than me now. And I know somebody else out there that knows me saying, okay, Don, it doesn't take very much to be taller than you. I know that. I don't need you to say that to me. Okay. You don't need to be saying that at all. All right. I know I'm 5'4", but I project 5'9". I just want you to know I project in my mind, I'm 5'9". Okay. All right. Anyway, so here's what we're talking about, folks. I'm going to put up another example of what we're talking about here. All right. Another example of what can we do? What can we do? Here's an example of a real estate investor. $2.2 million in loans. Okay. This is a client of mine. $2.2 million in loans. The bank wants $1,123,195 just in interest on these loans. We showed this businessman how to pay only $231,000 in interest to the bank. What? From $1,123,000, this is what the bank wanted, to $231,000. We're saving him over $891,000 in interest. $891,000 in interest he won't have to pay. And let's zero in on that again. You need to see this. You need to see it. His effective interest rate, again, is 0.67%. You'd have to have an interest rate from your bank at less than 1% to accomplish this. You don't need a low interest rate. You need to learn how to pay a lot less interest to the bank. And that's what the P.I.L.L method is all about. How the P.I.L.L method can help you to go from here to here, saving $891,726. And guess what he's going to do with that money instead? Instead of giving it to the bank, he's going to invest it in other properties, all right, in other properties, and then in just, let's see here, 17 years, turned it into, look at this, $9,314,000. That is our projected interest earnings by not giving that money to the bank. And folks, I need you to see something. All right. And this is your savings with a 1% return. This $9 million projected in 17 years is at a 1% return on their money. And you know he's going to get higher returns than that. Stop giving your money to the bank. Stop using it incorrectly. Learn how to leverage somebody else's money. All right. If you want to know more about how you can start your journey on leveraging someone else's money, here's what you could do. I'm going to put my link at the top of this page. All right. Now, you don't have to do this. All right. But you could do this. All right. And let me see here. Pin the link. And it is ICE, which stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. There you go. ICE10K.com. It's at the top of the page here on Clubhouse. And we're going to put it on the screen so that everybody else who's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, so you can see it as well. ICE10K.com. You click that link right now. You'll be able to see one of our digital business cards. And on there, you'll see a link that says get a savings and earnings report. So, Kurt, can we go ahead and put that on the screen? All right. And so we're going to go ahead and put up our banners so we can put up the right information so that you can see the ICE10K.com. And then what you're going to do is click the link that says get a savings and earnings report. Get a savings and earnings report. Once you get the savings and earnings report, you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free. And what could be better than that? It's usually within a 7-year window, about 7 years. Now, some people take a little longer. Some people are a little less. Okay. But in that general area, you can manage paying all of your debt off so that you can calculate your interest savings and then take that interest savings and then invest it along the way. That's what we're talking about here, folks. Get that. Now, I also need your help in getting this information out. I need your help in getting this information out. Here's how you can help. You can become a P.I.L.L Method affiliate today. It takes 15 seconds. Find on that same card, become an affiliate. Click it, takes 15 seconds to fill it all out. All right. And then just click on there how you want to get paid. And you can make between $300 and $3,000 a month referring people to us. And all you have to do is share with them how our YouTube channel. Send people to the YouTube channel. Let them watch a few videos. You don't have to sell anything. And then follow up with them in 48 hours. No more than 48 hours. And then if they're still interested, you fill out the referral card from the ice10k.com link, ice10k.com. And then you refer them and put your name and your phone number in as the referring partner. And when they become a client, we will pay you. All we ask is that you send us people who have at least $100,000 in debt. It could be a debt, and then their mortgage combined, or whatever it is, as long as it adds up to at least $100,000. And if you send them to us, and if they qualify and they become a client, we will pay you at least $300. You could be, and if you send us enough in the month, you can go anywhere from $300 to $3,000 in a month, just referring individuals because you believe in what you've heard today. All right, somebody's already filled it out. Somebody's already filled it out. I just got the notice. And if they gave me permission, I would tell them, I would tell you who it is. But they didn't give me permission yet. So folks, we always listen, we will always protect your identity. Let me see what Roger Farmer has to say here. Okay. Roger Farmer has to say, I'm coming up to the end of a 5-year balloon on my mortgage. Feels like I'm being forced into a refinance. I don't like it. Roger, it would be a good idea to refinance this loan. How would you like to put yourself in the best possible position to refinance so that you can make the best out of this situation? How would you like to be able to do that, Roger? Let me know. I can help you with that. Okay? Call my office. All right? I'm going to put my phone number. You don't even have to you call the office, all right? Leave a message, all right? The phone number is 256, okay? 886-1867. Boom. All right? I just put it in there. So you can see that. Anybody can call that number, leave a message today. Let's have a little conversation, okay? On Mother's Day, all right? If you call the office and you want a little bit of advice, do you realize it normally costs about $150 to get a consultation? Okay, as a Mother's Day surprise, anybody who has a 2 or 3 questions and they want to talk, call that number and leave a message. All right, and I'll call you back. I will call you back, and we'll talk a little bit and see how we can help you get to where you want to go and stop listening to people who are talking about debt freedom is the way to go, the debt-free scream, and all this other thing, and then trying to drive your credit score to 0 and cutting up your credit cards. What kind of mess is that? Cut up your credit cards and now try to rent a car. Okay? What if you have to fly the whole family across country? This as well. You can use sinking funds. You could put a lot of money in a bank account, all right, to make sure that you can pay for stuff. I've done a show. If you go to my YouTube channel and search the videos, all right, you can search my videos and put in sinking funds. Okay. Sinking funds are popular. All right. But I do a show called Sinking Funds Are Not Thinking Funds, because you're putting a whole ton of money in the bank, making 0.1%, just sitting there waiting for something to go wrong when you should be leveraging that money to make more money for you. Folks, it's not enough to pay cash for something so you don't have to pay interest. Lord have mercy. If I can pay somebody a little bit of interest so that I can make a whole lot of interest, can I give you another example of paying a little bit of interest so that you can save a ton of money elsewhere? Let me give you one example here. I'm going to put this on the screen. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put this on the screen. Okay. And let me see here. And we're going to put Brett Wessel on the screen. All right. We're going to bring that over. All right. Look at this. Look at this. I've done this example before. If you are new to the room and you want to see this example, go to YouTube. Come on in here. Listen, I'm sorry. I haven't looked at the stage in a while. I can't see if there's somebody who wanted to come to the stage. Just raise your hand. You don't even have to talk today. Just raise your hand, come to the stage. I'm going to show you something of what I'm talking about. How somebody asked me this yesterday, and I said, they were wondering about what I do. And I told them this. We do interest cancellation, and they got instantly intrigued about interest cancellation. And says, well, what does that mean and how does that work? I said, we show people how they could borrow money at a much lower interest cost. You don't have to pay all of that interest. It is not necessary. You never had to do it. We've just been conditioned to do it. So when in trying to explain that to them, I said, everything that you ever learned about how to manage credit is wrong. Everything. If you tell me something that you believe that is right, I'll tell you where it makes the bank money based on how we've been taught how to use it. And they said, oh, well, what about 0% credit cards? Well, you can't beat that with a stick, right? I can get 0% interest for 12 months. What's better than 0% interest? And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, ain't nothing better than 0%. Borrowing money for free, there's nothing better than that. But how we're taught how to manage that situation, that is the problem. That is the problem. And I'll tell you a little story, and then I'll give you some other examples. I have a client who's a doctor in California. He borrowed some money on a credit card, all right, because he likes to tinker around the house from Lowe's, and paying that money back. He's trying to pay it back within the 12-month period. So he's paying more than the minimum payment. And I said, why are you doing that? He says, because I don't want to pay all the accrued interest. I said, well, how much interest are you trying to avoid? He said 17%. I said, no, that's the interest rate. How much money are you trying to avoid in dollars and cents? He said, I don't know. I said, you are trying to make some financial decisions on which debt to pay and when based on I don't know. Don't you need to know how much interest the bank is actually going to charge you in dollars and cents so that you can make sure you can put your money where it needs to go? All right. So let me give you an example of what we're talking about here. Okay. So if I have a California mortgage, $900,000, and at this time it was at like 4%. This was a while ago. Okay. All right. And then I have, I've got $10,000 on a credit card. All right. That could eventually go to 17%, right? On all credit cards are amortized over 240 months, just so that you know. Okay. So the first interest payment, so they want $146.68. So that's how much they want. And if you don't pay that off, if you don't pay that off in time, here's what we're looking at. Let me bring up my calculator because this stuff isn't hard. Okay. bring up our calculator, $146. Okay. Bring up our calculator. Okay. There it is, $146. And we're going to multiply that by 12. Multiply it by 12. There we go. $1,752. $1,752. So that's really what he's trying to avoid is $1,752. Okay. Trying to avoid that. Or you can take that $10,000, apply it to this mortgage, and here is cumulative principal and cumulative interest. If you apply that $10,000 to this loan, boom, there it is. You knock 8 months off this mortgage and save $20,908.72 in interest. $20,000, almost $21,000. This is what people aren't telling you, folks. And so here's my question. Would you pay me $1,700 so that I can fix it for you so that you can save $21,000 interest on your mortgage? Would you pay $1,700 to save $21,000 on your mortgage? I want to see the answers. Yes or no? Yes or no? Mariana Gamero says, thanks for sharing. You're so welcome. You are so welcome, Marietta. Okay. Would you pay $1,700 to save $21,000? That's my question, everybody. I want to see the answers. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. And if you're online, go ahead and put it in the comment section. You see, when we have the numbers, we can, and so BPOM, best part of me, come on, all right, says yes, they would do that. But you won't do that if you don't know the numbers. Can I give you just one bit of advice that you can count on? When the so-called financial gurus, the Dave Ramseys, the Susie Ormans, anybody else that's out there that's teaching finance today, they can come up with a good speech that sounds great. But one thing they're not doing, and I want you to think about it, of all the things that you've ever learned from these folks that seem to be valuable, have they ever given you the numbers to back up what they're saying, to show what they're saying is true and beneficial to you? Have they done a study like this where they're saying, if you do this, it's going to cost you this much money if you do it this way, but if you do it this way, another way, it's going to cost you $21,000 to ignore doing it the right way? They don't show you the numbers, folks. They just give you platitudes, things that you've heard over and over and over again that become pleasing to the ear. But it's not, but it's truthful in one sense, but it's leaving out a whole lot of other information. So it's a lie by omission. It's not a lie by commission. It's a lie by omission. They have omitted a ton of information that would actually make things better for you. Let me show you another thing. Okay. So we've got another. Let me change this from 17% to 29%. 29% interest on this card. 29% interest on this card. So the experts would tell you, if you have a $10,000 balance on a 29% card, all focus goes to that card. They're telling you, you need to pay that off immediately. Listen, I'm not saying that you should just let it linger. I'm saying you ought to be strategic about understanding what you do and stop looking at the interest rate and look at the interest cost. So with this loan of $10,000 at 29%, what are we talking about today? Debt freedom is the worst kind of deception because they're not giving you the numbers. They're not giving you the numbers. When you work with the P.I.L.L method, we're going to give you the numbers. There are businesses out there that are similar to the P.I.L.L method. And somebody asked me the other day online, what is the difference between the P.I.L.L method and this other company that seems to be doing exactly what you're doing? The difference is we're going to save you more money, between $30,000 and $50,000 more, and we're going to pay off all of your debt 2 to 5 years sooner because of the coaching that you will get and understanding how all of these loans work. Just even from the history of amortization coming into this country to now, we're going to teach you all of that. So here's what we're saying, that we're told to focus on interest rate. And when you're focusing on the interest rate, you totally miss interest cost. How much does it actually cost me? So 29%, I pay that all off. What if I were to pay that off in just 1 month? Let's say I had it in the bank. I have the money in the bank. I could pay off this $10,000 card. And now because I've been told 29%, I'm focused on the 29%. I didn't realize that if I pay that off today, I save myself $241.67 in interest. That's it. $241.67. If I put that same $10,000 on this mortgage, look what it does for me. Well, what about, so Don, that's a $900,000 mortgage. I know that. What? Did you know the median home price in America today is $400,000, and the interest rate is like 6.5%. 6.5%. Okay. Let's do something that most of us can relate to. $400,000. Okay. So $400,000 mortgage, 6.5%. I want to show you now. I could take my $10,000 and feel very good about the fact that I paid off this credit card, which is at 29%. I just saved a total of $242.45 in interest. That's how much interest I just saved. Okay. All right. Berna just came into the room. I'm going to invite her up to speak. All right. All right. Berna, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Don. I am doing great. How are you?
Listen, on this Mother's Day, we're doing just fine. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I know the one work mothers does, there's nothing can pay back. No money. They don't get any paid, right? All the work they have done with the kids and the family. But happy Mother's Day. I will be listening in.
All right.
And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, folks, back to our example. Back to our example here. All right. So we have the experts are saying, knock this thing out because it's killing you. And what they're not doing is that on your mortgage, your average mortgage, look at this, 400,000, 6.5. They're telling you that your credit card is killing you. But look at this. How much money is going to principal? $361.60. Look how much money is going to interest. $2,166. $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month. And all the experts are telling you you need to be focused on this credit card that's charging you $240 some a month. Come on. Do you see what I'm excuse me? Do you see what I'm talking about now? How we're not being told all the truth about these loans. Debt freedom, worst kind of deception, because we're not being told everything we need to understand it. If I put that same $10,000 on my mortgage, okay? All right, so Lawrence got their hand raised. Okay, Lawrence, can I bring you up? Okay, well, let me see what this. Can I bring you up? Okay, Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Do you have a question or comment this morning?
Sorry, I can't change my photo there.
It's okay.
But you all
that goes right along with the pill method. You realize that, right?
it's I only put it. I was talking about the scarcity of medicine and whatever, but you always were right on. It's just absolutely incredible. We've reached a point in life where there is no balance. This setting this straight will bring balance to people's lives.
Yes.
So I've always wanted to hop up and say that, and people are always searching for peace, and they're searching for this level of tranquility, but they're never going to get it unless their house is in order. And so I just wanted to throw that in there, and you always bring that to the table, so I appreciate that. I want to say that. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much for that, sir. I appreciate that. And folks, this is what we're getting at. There's a whole lot of information. There's a whole lot of information you are not receiving about these loans. So if I put that $10,000, I could put that $10,000 just like Susie Orman would be talking about, or Dave Ramsey, anybody else that's out there that's teaching, take care, throw that money at that loan, kill that $10,000 credit card and feel good about it. Okay? Feel good about it. While this is happening to you, okay, you could take that $10,000 and put it on this mortgage and knock out over 2 years of loan payments, 2 years of mortgage payments, and save $53,000 in interest. I'm just asking you right now, is this bringing clarity to you on this Mother's Day that the way that we are taught to manage debt has become a bad word when we need to learn how to manage credit to our benefit and use our money so that we get a bigger bang for our buck? I could use $10,000 here and knock off 2 years worth of mortgage payments. If I just knew that, that would be beneficial. But guess who doesn't know that? Do not. If you are new to this stage, if you're new to listening to this or watching me online, don't do this on Monday morning. Don't call your bank and then ask them, is this true? Because the person that's answering the phone does not know how an amortization schedule works. Their bosses did not teach them. The manager that they're going to give to you next, it did not get this information. The manager will not be able to tell you if this is true or not either. The loan officer that gave you your mortgage I absolutely did not have to take a test on how mortgages actually work and how to defeat them, did not get educated on how they actually work to get their license. So don't call them Monday morning and ask them information that you got from the pill method, is it true? So what you want to do is look at all the videos that we have up, over 200. This is show number 223. Look at all the comments. No one has ever disputed anything that we have. You search pill method online, Google, you can go Bing, you can ask Jeeves, you can whatever, Yahoo, whatever search engine you choose, search pill method. You will not find one negative word about our business, about our education system, not one negative word from anyone who's actually ever used it. And the little bit of negative that's out there, these people have never even talked to me. And when I've offered for them to talk to me, they've all declined. All of them have declined. Rose David says, who's watching us on YouTube right here, says, I believe that they know the truth, but don't share it with average people so they can keep us poor. I don't, that I don't know if it's the goal to keep you poor. I do believe that Dave Ramsey has this huge building. I believe he has a ton of employees. I believe there are people out there that that promote his idea of doing things, and his whole business model is based on it. And let me show you why he can't switch over to this, because people have said, Don, what does Dave Ramsey say about your program? Okay, we've actually done a show on it. There's a show. Go and how what Dave Ramsey has to say. So it's just go to our YouTube channel, get in our videos, and then search our videos. Just type in Dave Ramsey. You will see that Dave Ramsey calls. Oh, he actually calls me names on his program, and it's on his website. Yeah. So here's what I'm talking about when we're talking about that. Ford will never endorse Toyota. Okay. Latasha Hammond says this information was a great Mother's Day gift. She also says, thanks for taking the time to break it down. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Steve, I see you in here on Mother's Day. What are you doing in the audience? You know better. Terry, what are you doing in the audience on Mother's Day? Come on. Let's get it going. Let's get that conversation going. So here's what I'm saying, folks. If you have been told one thing, if you've been told one thing and you find out another, those people who are talking to you about finances, they need to show you the numbers. I just showed you where at even 29%, you need to be careful of which loans you pay off and how you pay them off. Okay, I'm going to show you. Have any of you learned know anything about the debt snowball? Any of you know anything about the debt snowball? Okay, because I'm going to put. All right, who's it? All right, Berna. Listen, is it me? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I hear you just fine.
All right. And hey Terry, are you hearing Berna okay, or is it just me?
No, she's choppy.
Okay.
I hear you just fine.
Okay, so Berna, for some reason.
Good morning, by the way, Don.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good.
All right. How's your
young? Got the wife some flowers and some chocolates. Now I'm about to take her to breakfast.
How about
Actually,
that?
We're about to all go to breakfast, so we're on it.
Hey, man, I love it. Okay, Latasha's watching from California. And Terry, what part of the country are you in?
Right in the middle, St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri, folks. We're right there. So I'm going to talk.
Gateway to the west.
All right. Listen, let's talk about. Is that where that arch is? Is that where that arch is, Terry?
Yes, sir.
I need you all to focus in on something. If you've heard about the debt snowball, okay? So right now I'm putting on a $40,000 car, okay? $40,000 car, and I always get it for, if I'm buying something, I want to get it for the longest term possible. The longest term, okay? So the longest term would be what, 84 months? Okay, and let's say we can get an interest rate right around 4% on the car, probably less. Okay, but if I have like a credit card, I've got a credit card, I've got some other loans, I've got a car loan, and I've got this mortgage, this $400,000 mortgage. Do you realize? Here's what Dave Ramsey is saying. Okay, you need to take the smallest loan you have, the smallest bill or debt that you have, and pay that one back first. Okay. Then you would take your credit, you would take that minimum payment, add it to what you're doing on another bill, all right, and then combine them and then pay that one off even faster. Then when you pay those two off, you combine the money from those two and put it with a third and pay. So you start with the smallest and then just snowball this thing and paying off so that you can get the good feeling of paying off this debt. Okay. You've all heard of the debt snowball. All right. So while I'm paying off my credit card, that's costing me a certain amount. And the interest on this loan is $133 a month on this car loan, $133. Let me show you what's going on here. We got $413 going to principal, $133 going to interest on this car loan. All right. And what Dave Ramsey is saying is that if you only have the two, we should be focusing on the car loan, getting that paid off. And then we could take our payment of $546 a month, and then we could put it towards the mortgage. So let's just say that we've got this car and it's set up for 7 years, but let's say we could pay it off in 2. That means everything that we've got going on, we can pay this car off in 2 years. Let me show you how interest cancellation actually works. So if you make this car payment here on line 1, and if you're new to the room and you want to see what we have, go to YouTube and you can see the example. Go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method, and you can watch it. Or you can go to my ice10k.com card here, edit, and then go to the link. And then one of the links in the middle says, all right, ICE 10K Live. It's the third one down, ICE 10K Live. That's all of the links to all of our social media there. So if you want to go to ICE 10K Live on one of your other devices and click that, ice10k.com, and then click on ICE 10K Live, then you can go to our social media. So go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method, and watch this example. Okay. So Dave Ramsey is saying if I have this, okay, and we're starting here, all right, and I make this very first payment, then if I wanted to prepay $414.79, I could save $131.96 in interest. So it's not putting that money on the debt that matters. Okay. It's not paying it off fast that matters. What we're doing is saving interest when we're paying off these loans. That's what gets you out of debt, the amount of interest you don't pay. Okay. And we need to focus in on that. But by prepaying $414.79, I save $131.96 in interest. Let's go back to this mortgage here, where I could prepay $363 and kill $2,000 worth of interest. Dave Ramsey has you over here putting your money on this loan, paying it off in 2 years. While in 2 years, you're making minimum payments on your mortgage. And here's the position he's going to put you in. Okay. Position he's going to put you in after 2 years on this mortgage. You have paid your mortgage down by $9,000. Your car's paid off. Your $40,000 car is paid off, but you've only put $9,000 towards your house in 2 years, and you paid $51,000 by ignoring this mortgage, but your car is paid off. Folks, tell me if you've tried the debt snowball, if you believed in the debt snowball before, do you still believe in it now? Lawrence, what do you have to say this morning?
The debt snowball works for one thing, and it works for one thing very well, but you have to look very deep into it. Credit Karma makes it easy. You got to look at your pay dates, make your pay dates on any crazy debt you have, and minimize that so that when it locks in on your credit report, temporarily, you look better. It's not a long-term solution, but it's a credit hack that'll get your numbers moving. I am just this month up 59 points in 5 days of doing that. And so that's where it works. But when you want money, Use your assets. That's what rich people do. They buy stuff with credit cards, pay it off real quick, and they use their assets to accumulate wealth. And that's what you're talking about. People might be missing it if they're not looking at the bright side. Take what you own, your house, and buy other crap with it. Your annuities. Your annuity is another one. I got a 22-year-old daughter who's got $15,000 in annuity. Put $50 a month into it and forgot about it. And now she's got a car, or can go get a car when it's time, and no debt. So just there's tricks, and I love that new people are coming to the table every day and wanting to listen to these things, because on mornings like this, I'm a father too. So my people are still asleep. I can get up and listen to maybe some people, and hopefully, like you're doing, change their lives. That's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. What we're saying, folks, is that these things, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it's highly inefficient. It does what it does. But if you want the best of both worlds, if you want a credit score, listen, when we moved to Huntsville, it was in 2008. What was going on in 2008? Does everybody remember? Yeah. We were in a recession. It was tough. We moved here in July of 2008. We were deep into the recession by then. Things were happening. Things were beginning to happen bad. All right. But guess what? Because we were practicing interest cancellation this way, our credit score was over 800. So when we applied for this house, we didn't have to sell our other house because things were not selling very well in Michigan. So all we had to do was show that we had a renter, and we were good to go. We didn't get a loan that says, well, provided you're able to sell your house, you can now get this house. No, we got this house and a HELOC to go along with it. Boom, just like that. Because of using these strategies, putting ourselves in a better financial position by paying off the debt strategically. Listen, folks, you've got to be able to do that. And that's what we're talking about. Does it make sense? Let me look at some of these other. Let me see. Can't hear you. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Steve, Matt, I got you. All right. So,
so we lost you. We lost you in the matrix when you said all you had to do was identify that you had a renter.
Oh.
Hey, the servers are overloaded, just so you know.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Right now. So it's not. I just everyone practice a little slower, talk, and patience, and I think you get the point across.
Thank you so much. So, Steve, what I was saying is that what did you say I cut off, Steve? I forgot. What did you say I was cut off?
In Michigan, so for the first house.
Okay, for the first house.
The second one.
Okay, so the first house in Michigan. Okay, here's what happened in Michigan. There was a time when we were trying to get another house when we were in Michigan, when things were going well. They told us we had to sell this house that we were in before we could buy the next house. So by the time we got to Huntsville, Alabama, which was some years later, our credit score had increased to over 800, right? Because of how we were doing what we were doing. And then we didn't have to sell that house to get the loan for this house that we have now. And listen, it was such a blessing to be able to do that. So you can put yourself in a great position by learning how to leverage the bank's money correctly and not listening to what's been told to us without somebody proving how it works. Listen, this is why Dave Ramsey cannot endorse the P.I.L.L method. Here's the main reason why, and it's on your screen right now. Because if I have these two debts, Dave Ramsey is going to tell you to pay off this $40,000 car first. Maybe you can get it done in 2 or 3 years, but totally ignore putting any extra money on this mortgage for 2 or 3 years. If it's 2 years, you're going to pay this mortgage down by $9,000. It's going to cost you $51,000 in interest. If it's 3 years, you're going to pay this house down by $14,000, and it's going to cost you $76,000 in interest before you actually start putting extra money on the mortgage. Does this make sense, anybody? Does this make sense to you? Now, what if you have more than one debt? What if you have, a couple of other, you got some student loans, okay? What if you have some credit cards? What if you have like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 other loans? Did you know the average family has 13 different debts? The average family has 13 different debts. So Dave Ramsey wants you to spend time paying off 12 other debts before you focus on the mortgage. And he calls it baby step number 6. The mortgage is the last one to go. What if it takes you 10 years? Let's say you got 40 years worth of debt, okay? And it takes you 10 years to knock off all the other ones. And then, so listen, you've knocked off everything in 10, everything except the mortgage. So you're way ahead of the game as far as the number of years you were supposed to be in debt. All right. And you knocked it off. But 10 years on this mortgage means you've only paid it down by $60,000, but it cost you $242,000 in interest to do that. They don't show you the numbers. This is it. This is it. You wanted to know debt freedom? Why it is the worst kind of deception? Because they don't show you the numbers. All right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments today? Terry, do you have a question or comment? Steve, question or comment about anything that we've been talking about? Does anybody have a question or comment in the audience? Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Lawrence.
I'm just gonna add to that the system is, we say Dave, but we mean the system. It's taking advantage of your fear of high interest rates, and also there is this high likelihood that if you pay off that credit card, you're going to charge it up again because it's so easy to use. And I dare you to try and use your mortgage to buy something. It's almost a forced discipline. And, in my case, I paid 65 grand for my house. Most of them are selling for the 300s. So I couldn't even try and get that money without a whole bunch of paperwork and things. So for those that are poorly disciplined, which, and I think that's who Dave in many ways is trying to appeal to, is to the desperate. And the desperate are getting those calls from the bill collectors. And they're like, how do I make them stop? Whereas the bank and mortgages are just sitting back saying, we know our business. We've been in it for 4,000 years and we'll keep doing it our way. So, do you want to be a victim of what is popular and current, the fear of missing out, of being able to buy that purse? Or do you want to be able to live in that house when you have dementia? And I think the NPR, if you look on NPR, there's a whole article about what happens to old people that start to lose their well-being. And the next thing that goes is their financial well-being. And then there's a tremendous problem, if you will, of where these people are going to go, because they deserve so much more. They're the ones that brought us here. But the system has eaten up all of the resources that are necessary to take care of them. So it's really an existential threat. It's this one that you can't see yet because your folks are still strong. And so I just want to add that before we go on to Mother's Day breakfast, and and keep that in mind. You are who you are now, but in 5 years you'll be different, and things will be different around you.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. Genevieve, you've come to the stage. What do you have for us? So if you want to speak, Genevieve, she didn't want to speak. That's okay. Listen, if you don't want to speak, that's okay. You don't have to talk. You can stay on the stage. I'll invite you back up. Come on back up. Okay. There you go. Did you want to speak this morning or did you just want to sit on the stage? And if you want to talk, just click the microphone in the lower right-hand corner on your screen and that it'll unmute you. Okay, maybe you just want to sit there, but that's quite all right. Stay there and learn. All right, anybody else who wants to come to the stage and learn today? If you have a red ticket, cash that ticket in to become a member of the Mortgage Syndicate House, and then click on my avatar, okay, the ICE avatar, scroll all the way down, and you'll find the P.I.L.L Method House. Join the P.I.L.L Method House as well. We need you here. We're going to be right back here on Wednesday with more information, folks. But I just want to get this idea across to you that everything these things aren't as they seem. We have been getting a lot of bad information over the years that have caused us to actually get to the point where we are, let me pull this over here, that we are, we're trying the best that we know how to do. And we need to understand this. Those who make a lot of money renting people money, those who make money from renting money, making interest on that money, it doesn't behoove them that we get the education on how to understand it, how to leverage it, how to benefit from it. There's something going on here when the basic education we have is teaching us how to be employees, not employers, employees, but there's no education, absolutely no education on how much interest we're paying on these loans and how to prevent it, how to leverage it the very best way. We're not taught that. We're not taught a skill set on how to leverage or manage credit to our benefit. Why is that? How did that get left out of our education? Okay, I don't know. We can come up with all kinds of theories. We can come up with all kinds of ideas, but listen. As long as others control the financial education, they will continue to make profits and we will continue to lose fortunes because of opportunity cost lost. And that's what we're talking about today. We lose fortunes, meaning not just the extra interest that you're paying that matters. It's the money that money will never make for you. The average family can take that money that they're not paying in interest and turn it into over $1 million worth of savings and still be able to buy the car, buy the house, buy the things that you want to buy using credit properly, and then taking the interest money that you didn't spend by tracking it and then invest that money as well. Take your money and invest it. Borrow the bank's money at pennies on the dollar. Borrow their money. If you're a business owner, learn how to borrow money at pennies on the dollar so that you can now, not only are you borrowing money to scale up your business, you're going to make even more money now because now you're going to pay a lot less interest for the money you borrowed. Come on. How do you like those apples? You like that stuff today? Oh man, here's another thing. If you don't know the rules to the game, I've got this written down. Here's another note for you. If you don't know the rules to the game, you choose to play it. You're playing a game you don't know the rules to. If you do that, okay, even though there may be a referee present, okay, even though there may be a referee present, when the rules are violated in this financial game and you're victimized by it, the referees that manage it will not step in to help you because of our ignorance. Those who are there to provide the guardrails that put up the laws are not there to help you. If you don't know what the rules are, they won't stop the game and say, stop, don't do that. Here are the rules that are going to help you. No one's there to help you except the P.I.L.L method. We're here to help you. I need you in these last few minutes. Can you help me get this information out? Can you share this video? Can you share this information on YouTube with at least 5 people today? Can you do that? I mean, just get the link and send it out to 5 people on your email list. Have them watch it. Can we help other people get what they need and want by cutting their interest costs by 75%, so they don't have to worry about the debt-free scheme or becoming debt-free and doing it in the wrong way and paying 70-80% more interest than they need to pay to get out of debt? Yes, you feel good. But I asked the question in my book, what do you want to pay? How much do you want to pay for your good feelings? My debt is paid off, but I have no idea how much extra interest that I paid. How much do you want to pay for your good feelings? I asked that in my book. Speaking of my book, which has been a 6-time bestseller on Amazon. 6 different times. It's been a bestseller on Amazon. We can use this book as the foundation of your education. And then as you're getting information on these videos, as you're talking with our staff, as you're using the opportunity cost calculator, our cloud-based AI computing system, you don't download it on your computer, okay? Because of all the things that we keep track for you, of all the things that we're doing for you, we keep everything running on our servers, okay? And you have access to the program for a lifetime. So you get education, you get coaching, and you get superior technology that's going to save you on average of $150,000 in interest that you don't have to pay. You can take that money and then turn it into great wealth for you and your family instead of giving it to the bank. We're here to help you. I need your help in helping other people to get out there, get it out there. And not only that, but guess what? You can get paid for just referring individuals to us that become clients. Go to ice10k.com and sign up as one of our referral partners. You can listen. Let's do that right now. Go to the link up above, ice10k.com. Go to the link. All right. If you are on watching this online, I'm gonna go online here to ice10k.com. This is what it looks like. Okay. At the top is Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. And why is he here? Because he says we no longer have a mortgage. He used the P.I.L.L method to pay off his loans. Okay. He used the P.I.L.L method to pay off his mortgage. Yes, he did. He says he did. All right. And then you can scroll down. All right. And where it says, check out my digital card. All right. All right. There it is. Got a check mark down at the bottom. Become an affiliate. It takes 15 seconds to fill out, and it's absolutely free to you. We're not charging you for this. Become an affiliate. Learn how to share our YouTube channel with other people. Follow up with them in 48 hours or so. And then once you do that, all right? Okay. Once you do that, you can then refer a friend. Come back to the same card and click on refer a friend. Okay. So we go back up here, refer a friend, Click on that and you put in their information. Put in their full name, first and last, their phone number, okay, their email address, and their zip code, who referred them. You put your name and number in here, and then give us any additional information. And then you click submit. Send that in to us. Once you send that in to us, guess what? Okay? Once you send that in to us, you will then know, once that person becomes a client, we will send you $300. You send us more in a month, you can get up to $3,000. Folks, I want you, I would love to help you help others, because you're telling people about different products and different things you've tried, things that you're doing, things that you believe in. So you've seen some stuff online before and you're sharing it with others and they're not paying you a dime. Let us pay you to help get this information out. Please. I just get so excited about it when people call. And if you want to, now I put in my phone number earlier to my business number. If you want to talk today, all right, we're going to spend a little time talking to people, and we're not even going to ask you to fill out where it says, where does it say here? Get us, of course you want to get a savings and earnings report, all right? But you can also go to check out my digital card. And if you click on payment options, you can actually see on that card, you can actually see where we charge $150 an hour for consultation. I'm putting my number on the screen. All right. I'm putting my number on here, and I'm also going to put it in the chat on Clubhouse. My business telephone number is 256. Somebody will answer the phone and you tell them that you want to talk to Don Daniel. 256-886-1867. There you go. You tell them you want to talk to Don Daniel. They'll send me a message, all right, and I'll give you a call back today. All right, we'll talk a little bit. And anybody else who wants to sign up to become an affiliate, and we'll partner together. You help people, and we'll help you with between $300 and $3,000 in a month. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this idea. So folks, I want to thank you very much for being here today. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who's here today. Happy for people who have come through. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Whatever it is that you're doing today, go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. We're getting ready to hear from Eric Thomas, all right, who's paid off his loans. But I also want to click on, I want to click on my card here where it says you can get my book. All right, buy my book right here down at the bottom here. Buy my book, bringing it up, takes you straight to Amazon where you can get the book. All right, and listen, we are so thankful that it's been on since 2019, and it is going strong. So get the book today, get some education today. And we're going to be right back here on Wednesday, starting it all over again, giving you some great information about what you didn't know about lending. We're giving the education away for free. But we also want you to learn how you can benefit financially from helping us spread the message. Thank you, everybody. All right. I want to thank you, everybody who came to the stage. All right. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas as we say goodbye to everybody. Happy Mother's Day. See you on Wednesday. Bye-bye now.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.